There's been a big rise in the number of people losing their homes after failing to keep up with their mortgage repayments. Council of Mortgage Lenders say nearly 19,000 homes were repossessed in the first half of the year, a 48% increase on the same period in 2007. The Housing Minister, Caroline Flint, insists the situation is not as bad as many had predicted.
Obviously, these figures today show a rise, but I have to say they're not as high as forecasts suggested. And of course, they're nowhere near as high as the sort of repossession figures we were seeing in the early 90s. But having said that, we need to make sure that people are getting the right advice in the right place at the right time, because we know that can actually help people avoid losing their home.
OK, well, Jonathan Davis, Chartered Financial Planner at Armstrong Davis in the city, joins us now. Jonathan, you're our financial expert. Welcome back to the programme.
Thank you, Kath.
Let's get your reaction to what we heard Caroline Flint say there in the news about repossessions being on the up.
Yeah, she said that they're not as bad as A, people predicted, and B, they're not nearly as bad as the early 1990s. Well, the early 1990s, the housing crash lasted for about 5 years. We're only less than 1 year into our current crash. Last time, 300,000 homes were repossessed. So she's right, it's not yet as bad as the 1990s, but there's another 4 years of this to go. In terms of they're not as bad as people predicted, well, I don't know what people she's talking about, because they're easily as bad as people predicted. To paraphrase Churchill, unfortunately, it's only the end of the beginning. This is the start of a very long, difficult road over the next few years, and repossessions are going to rise rapidly from now. OK, now, it's interesting, isn't it? When we last spoke to you, Jonathan, you revealed, and you were very open about it, that you played the market beautifully, got out of property. When will you get back into property? When will things get better? Will you ever bother going back to it? Oh, absolutely. The market rose for about 15 years or so, depending what part of the country you're in. We're clearly talking about London, so about that period. Therefore, it'll probably fall for around a few years, say 4 years. It started last autumn, 2007, so I guess 2011 is probably going to be a point where we will be close to the bottom. So yeah, we'll probably buy, my wife and I will probably buy again in 2011.
Wow. Very quickly, Jonathan, can you tell us a little bit more about what happened with RBS today? Royal Bank of Scotland, they posted the second worst profits results in history.
Well, indeed, and they're slightly larger losses than Northern Rock of a few days ago, which is nearly £600 million. Basically, it's not just Royal Bank of Scotland. It's all the banks made really ridiculous lending in the last few years to both companies and private individuals who actually ultimately couldn't afford the borrowings. So there's been a bit of stupidity on both the lenders and the borrowers. I mean, that, I'm afraid, is the reality. So there's big bad debts going on, hence repossessions, for example. And those bad debts are reflected in corporate losses for banks. Banks globally have lost, and I'm going to have to use dollar terms now, $500 billion, both UK banks and international banks. And they've run out of money. They're trying desperately to recapitalise, to take in more money. For example, the Royal Bank of Scotland is trying to raise £12 billion from the stock market, which means basically our pension funds. Well, they'll probably achieve it, and that's fine. But the fact is, the banks are in really difficult state, and in a sense they should be, because they made terrible lending decisions. OK, now, Jonathan, I could talk to you all afternoon, but we've run out of time. But luckily for me and the rest of the listeners, you'll be coming back to BBC London on Sunday night after 10 o'clock to hang out with Eddie and Esther and have a bigger chat about this and maybe take a few calls. So I'll be looking forward to that, and I'll happily to answer any queries. Yep.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for having a brief chat with us, but I would tell everybody, if you want to hear about what more Jonathan has to say, tune in to Hedgy Extra after 10 on Sunday night, because I want to hear more of what Jonathan's saying, because he obviously knows what he's talking about.
Absolutely, and as somebody who's invested in property for my pension, he having sold his as a expert on finance, that certainly will make up part of our conversation. But if you're having trouble with finance, you want some help, he'll be on the show, and that's from 10 p.m. this Sunday here on BBC London 94.9.